Hello, folks. Rick Williams in Dallas again. I got another brief video for you today about on Ancestry.com, and in a it's the third of three videos I'm going to make today, um, all centered around DNA because DNA is what I love. Um, I recommend that you check out those other two videos when you get a chance. Um, it it's all centered around the DNA processing that Ancestry.com will do for you. Highly recommend that you order a kit. They're about $50 or on sale, and spit in the tube and mail it in. And Ancestry then will, for your $50, they will analyze your DNA and basically produce what you're seeing here on the screen today. Uh, the value to me goes way beyond that. Um, this this DNA capability within Ancestry allows me to reach my goals for my family tree, which I talk about in the other videos. I want to produce an accurate family tree. Back on my bloodlines from on the paternal side is at a minimum, and I want to go back as far as I can, find out where I came from. And the reason I'm doing that is I want to tell stories about my family and all the families that are related to me. And the only way I can really avoid telling stories that aren't true is to validate the information that the stories are based on as much as I can. And DNA is one of the main ways to do that. Um, Uh, this three video series that I made is kind of along the lines of what I do on a daily basis to work on my family tree. Um, if you are working on a family tree or you just like to look at them, uh, you know that one of the problems is generally too much information. There's too many people that are out of context for the tree that you're looking at. Um, you can certainly try to capture too much information. And what I, after years of doing this, what I finally decided for myself is I want to minimize the amount of information on the tree um, to facilitate my goal of storytelling and knowledge of my families. So um, the thing what I do on a daily basis to maintain my tree, it really starts and ends with what kind of DNA information can I use today to make my tree better. And Ancestry provides that for me. It when I log on to Ancestry at first thing in the morning, I come to the screen, and although I don't review my DNA story very often, um, I know that that's a changing dynamic thing that goes on underneath the cover. Going to be good for my stories later on, but right now I'm interested in DNA matches. I'm interested in the new matches that have come up that are relevant, that answer questions for me, and that's the key thing. I've already covered what I do on the DNA matches. You might take a look at that on the first video of the series, three-part series. Today, I'm going to talk about ThruLines, which I covered a little bit in the previous video, but I'm going to cover it a little bit more today, again from the perspective of what do I do on a daily basis. Uh, Ancestry produces this information. Let's just go to the Explore ThruLines. Um, Ancestry produces the information that you're looking at here and maintains it on a continuous basis. It continuously updates this so that I can look through this and see my parents and how many DNA matches there are out there. So it's been setting at 2 for a long time, and the two people that connect me with my parents are my brother and my sister. This number does not include me, and it doesn't include my daughter, who's also connected to these people. But this number that you're looking at is a net 2 DNA matches. And if I were to take a look at my dad, you will see that here's my sister, here's my brother, and here I am. So there's two of us. There's 2 matches there that match to me. Okay. Again, it doesn't go into my sisters or my brother's children or anything like that. Even though it's true that if my sister's daughter did send in her DNA, I would know about it and see it, but it probably wouldn't show up on this particular panel. I think it would. Anyway, I wish they would if they get the chance. Uh, so beyond my parents are my grandparents. Here's all of my grandparents, all 16 or all 12 of my grandparents that I have here. The William Morrison, Doubledee, uh, George. There is Williams, Morrison DeJarnay. There's Doubledee Smith, and there's George Finney. So those are my grandparents, and as you can see here, there's a differing amount of DNA matches that I can drill down and look at. So the list goes all the way through my fifth X great grandparents, which is way back in the 1700s in most cases. That's a long way back in the past, and the reason Ancestry cuts it off at the 5th generation or the 5X position and not the 6X is because DNA starts to become not so accurate at this point. Um, it's it's the amount of DNA that ties me to John Williams here, and to another, let's say my first cousin 5 times removed, which is at the other end of the spectrum for this particular grandfather. The amount of centimorgans, which is a measure of DNA, is going to be less than 8 if I go to the 6X grandfather. So it's not easily, it's not something that means a lot. It's going to be, the fragment is going to be so small, and the uh, as you can see here, the numbers are big on the closeness side. So uh, uh, the 19 matches for my 5X great grandparents are between 8 and 227 centimorgans. So anything higher than 6X, it's going to be nebulous. But that doesn't mean that my family tree can't go higher. So I'm planning on building my family tree out to 9X for the reason of figuring out where my families come from. I want to know where the Marshalls came from. I want to know where the McClures came from, so I can tell stories about the Marshalls and the McClures and the Narns and all the others. Now, the reason I come here on a daily basis is I'm interested in what's new. So Ancestry keeps track of what's new and will flag any of these grandparents that have new activity underneath them for new DNA. And I can scan, I'm just going to go to the very bottom here and start scanning backwards, and you'll know it when you see it. But all of these grandparents of mine, there's nothing new going on. I can see what's current, but there's nothing new going on until, for today, until I reach this particular grandparent. Now, this is my my 2X great grandfather, a Finney, who married a Strange. And it's logical that both of these had a DNA update recently since I've looked, right? So there's 201 DNA matches on this side and 203 on this side, which basically means that there were some other marriages between this couple. There's another step grandmother or there's a step grandfather, and that's the reason the two numbers differ. So great. Ancestry is telling me that something changed. There's one new one. It seems to be one new one on both sides. So that means it's a full um, cousin of some type. And I'm hoping that it's a new uncle or a new aunt or a new cousin, first cousin, because that's what I look for on a daily basis. Now, if you watch the other video about DNA matches, you saw me do something similar, but I was looking at a list of 65,000 matches over there. That's good to do on a continuous basis, but something on a daily basis, the new stuff coming in is something I can find here. Now, the odds of me finding something brand new or that is uh, within context for me, and my context is different than your context. I want an aunt, uncle, a grandparent, or a first cousin. That's really all I'm interested in because my tree is already very, very large, and I'm not interested in making it any larger unless it brings value, brings in a new family, a unique family, um, or brings me clarity about a step parent that brings in again a story. There are lots of stories in step parents and brothers and half cousins and all that sort of thing. So I'm open to any story that might come about. So how do I go about analyzing what is new? Well, simply click on this, and it will show me everything about Miles Albert Finney that's in my tree and not in my tree. So let me slide this over to the left or to the right, depending on your perspective. And I hope you're impressed. You should be, because there are 201 DNA, there are 201 matches besides me that are blood related to my second great grandfather here. So that's a lot of detail, and I can go and drill down into those DNA matches and see them all. Whether I want to add them to my tree or not is my choice. Uh, in this case, with the hatched box around the name, that's an indication that this person is not in my tree. So that's could be a flag that one DNA match that my Ancestry is trying to tell me about, it could be this one, or it could be that I have done nothing about this particular match. In other words, I haven't come in here and added this person to my tree yet. In any case, none of these ancestors of this person, including the DNA match itself, Ryan, Mr. Austin here, my third cousin, none of these people appear to be in my tree. And I use the word appear, and it's very important because I want to show you something. I picked this one on purpose because this is what may at first appear to be exciting new information. If I come over here and look, I have a Jasper Finney here that was born in 1858. And the difference between these two individuals, which are probably the same people, the same person, but as you can see here, the birth dates, according to Mr. Austin, the birth dates for his grandfather and the birth date that I have in my tree for my uncle, which is these are the same person. They don't match. And that's the reason Ancestry has not done anything to bring these two individuals together because Ancestry is not sure of the relationship of this person in my tree versus versus this person in in Ryan's tree. It won't do anything automatically. I can make it happen. I can change the dates, and other things can affect this. It can be the spouse's name. It can be the parent's name. If this particular Jasper has a different mother, then that will also cause this not to for Ancestry not to recognize that this is the same person. So I can go in and do the research, and this is what I do every so often when I find a new one. I go in and do the research, and in this case, I've decided not to do anything about it because these these people that in this side up to and including Mr. Austin might be already defined over here in my tree. So the only way I can get this information to go away is to go in and play some games with Ancestry, and I haven't decided to play the game yet with this particular uh, uh, revelation. I'm gonna show you something. And what's interesting? Look at this. We have another tree from another person that matches mine, and the dates match or almost match. It's the same situation I have over here. I can look at this and say, I know this guy. Lorenzi Lee Finney is already in my tree. I know it. He's there. And whether these dates and this person here is in there and this person here, I know, or I can go research and find out. But the fact that I have these three instances of Jasper Finney available to me is something I haven't straightened out yet. And this is an indication of a work in progress. So I'm showing you work in progress, the thing I work on when I don't have any new people to add. I come in here and try to resolve this situation. Here's another unresolved situation that came in from another person who, again, all these people are related to me. I know it. These are all my third cousins by blood. I just have to help them straighten out their tree or make my tree match the correct information in their tree. And then all this will be corrected and someday go away. And I've got quite a bit of these situations in my tree, and it's not a cause for concern. What I'll show you is I can access my tree from here by saying open a new tab. And then I can come over here and say open a new tab. And now up here at the top of the screen, I'll have two additional tabs. One of them represents my tree and the other represents this new, who's this guy? This is Janice's tree. So if I look at my tree, here's my Jasper Newton Finney. And here is, wait a minute, didn't seem to work. We'll do it again. Here we go. And this is her tree. Well, the picture's the same. I'm looking, she's got Lorenzi, but she has nothing else. So this is a person who doesn't have a very sophisticated tree. I can search her tree or look at her tree. I can't do it because this I can't get to the menu item, but I can tell right now that it's probably a matter of she just got the dates wrong. The parents are Miles and Catherine, and over on my tree is Miles and Catherine. So everything is right except for the dates. And Lorenzi is here, and Lorenzi is here. If I can compare the two Lorenzis, it's the same person. same person, and she's got some children, and I've got some children, and there's lots of similarities, and I can basically compare these two side by side and bring over what information that I choose from her tree, uh, and I can go in here and adjust, add the dates on her side, and then correct the dates on the parents, and I can make it to where this particular leg of the tree here is merged into mine. So I hope that this adds a little bit of information to your repertoire about what you can find out and how you can work with ThruLines to help on a daily basis manage and and pull information in from other people's trees with the goal of making your tree correct. You can't correct their tree, but you can make your tree more correct. You can pick up new photos. You can pick up new stories. You can uh, uh, you can create a situation where the confidence that your tree is correct uh, makes your story uh, true and worthy of being passed on to others. And that's the whole goal: is tell better stories, have better information. I'm Rick Williams from Dallas. Hope you enjoyed it and have a great day.